Thank you very much, Steve. And we start here this evening. Momentum Metropolitan Holdings, the company that offers insurance, medical aid and investment platforms, has seen a tremendous growth in profits thanks largely to the COVID-19 pandemic subsiding during the financial year. The company also managed to declare a dividend after profit for the year to end June rose to 3.3 billion rands from 73 million rands a year ago. To talk more about this is CEO Hillie Meyer, who joins us now. Mr. Meyer, thank you very much for your time. We certainly shouldn't be comparing COVID-19 related results to any results that we get from here onwards, but it shows just how bad the impact of COVID-19 was on businesses, but in particular Momentum Metropolitan Holdings.
You're absolutely right, Kolani. I mean, we make the point in our results announcement that, the results are not comparable to last year. Look, I mean, in our case, in a good year, we'll make normalized earnings of around 4 billion. The impact of COVID in a bad wave is around about 1 billion. So one COVID wave, the severe waves we had, wiped out 1/4 of profit. So this year, even though we had one wave in the first quarter, we did provide for that wave. So we put money away before the start of the year to pay that, and that's why the impact of COVID in this year is, has been taken care of by the provisions.
I actually caught up with another CEO at the Growth Point earlier on, and we spoke a lot about the macroeconomic environment in South Africa right now, with the high cost of living, load shedding, high interest rates, and runaway inflation all coming together to make a perfect storm, to be a perfect storm for businesses and households. What do you make of the current environment, and what does it mean for your clients in all these three spheres that you are involved in?
Look, I think there is obviously financial pressure on our clients. You mentioned the unemployment rate and all of that. So I think as a company, we are concerned about that. Some of our clients will find it difficult to keep up their premiums. And whether it's a funeral policy or a savings policy. So it is a big concern. I think that, as a country, the sooner we can get back to some measure of growth, the better. At this point, it's still evading us, but I am very, very worried about the economic circumstances.
Having spoken to Sanlam as well, they were very clear last week that there will definitely be an increase when it comes to all their insurance products. What are your plans? Because you are in the insurance space and you are also in the health space. Certainly, COVID-19 has caused some of these companies and your peers to actually re-look at these premiums, and we should be expecting higher premiums than normal.
Look, I think in principle it's probably a fair statement, but there are different products. And the best example would be to compare, let's say, normal life insurance, long-term insurance, individual contracts with group schemes, which provide employers and their employees with life cover. In the employee market, it's more like short-term insurance, where every year, the risks are repriced. So in the corporate market, employee benefits, I think there we've seen prices rise right from the early days in COVID, and I think their prices would actually begin to come down because COVID's dissipating now, and I think those prices can come down. What happened as far as long-term insurance, individual retail insurance is concerned, their prices actually weren't adjusted because everybody wanted to have a better understanding. These are sort of long-term prices. And I think that's probably what Paula and Rati referred to, where one would probably see an increase in prices. Because even though COVID has subsided, it's not gone totally away. Our mortality experience is still a little bit higher than what it was before COVID.
Does that mean that you are planning for possible future waves of COVID-19 since you had made those provisions in 2020 looking ahead?
Yeah, we actually believe that COVID-19 has now become endemic. So we have provisions. It's relatively small, even the total amount that we've provided. So we provided for 2 fairly modest COVID bursts, but it's 350 million rand, more or less our COVID provision. So I think it's pretty modest, the provisions.
Mr. Meyer, let me ask you about the raid by the search and seizure raid by the Competition Commission looking for signs or evidence of collusion. What do you make of that, as we heard from other insurers, that some of them are reserving their rights as far as that is concerned, and some of them are also saying that it's not abnormal for companies to share information, particularly when you look at this insurance space?
Look, I mean, the dawn raid was a total surprise. We didn't expect anything. There were any sort of warning signals, and I think that's fair enough. No problem with that. When the Competition Commission arrived that morning, we, provided them with all the information that they requested. They downloaded from certain individuals' laptops and cell phones and stuff, including my own. So they made copies. They were busy for virtually 2 days making copies and all of that. It will take them a long time to work through the information. I'm not sure exactly what they're looking for. The search warrant was relatively scanty. They refer there to, that on the one hand, companies should have started dropping premiums in December 21 already, because it should have been clear that COVID-19 is dissipating. And the second issue they mentioned there is a sharing of information. Look, I think the information that's typically shared is price information, and I didn't think that having price information is anti-competitive, but we'll have to wait and see. It will take a long time. This investigation is not going to be a one-day affair. It will take a very, very long time. It's a very complex issue. I mean, you can just imagine. I mean, we as insurers, and there were 9 of us, I think, on that warrant that they mentioned. We don't only compete against insurers. We also compete against banks. They sell insurance products. We compete against asset managers, investment and retirement products. It's a very complex environment. So we'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, obviously we provided the Competition Commission authorities with whatever information they wanted.
It sounds like you are saying that the competition authorities were on a fishing expedition, nothing more, because they do not have hard evidence. They were still looking for it.
Look, I wouldn't say that. I don't really know. I would just say that in the search warrant itself, there's very limited information. I would imagine that they must have some information already. What that is, I've got no idea. So we'll have to wait and see.
Mr. Hillie Meyer is the Group CEO at Momentum Metropolitan Holdings. Thank you, sir, for your time this evening. The company delivering some record profits following the slump of COVID-19, pleasing the market. And you saw that with the share price rising 5% at the announcement of those particular results. Well,